Welcome. Today I'm going to be auditing a Klaviyo account live. So I'm going to be taking you through this account as I audit it and I look for areas of opportunity to increase the revenue. This is an account we have just onboarded. We've just sort of finished building out their flows and are going to be looking to take the attributed revenue from the 19% here up towards 30 to 40% over the next few months. So I'm going to be going through the account from the flows, the campaigns, the deliverability, looking at everything to see what we can do to best increase the attributed revenue. Lots of people sort of have a Klaviyo account. If they're not using an agency, they're probably sitting there looking at it and going, well, this is doing all right, like 19%, like it's bringing in 10K a month for me, but I'm not quite sure how to take things to the next level. I don't know where to look. I've been running campaigns. I have a few flows, but there's just too much going on and you have no idea where to look. So I'm going to be diving into it all for you and showing you exactly how I would go about performing an audit. So when we look at this account, I can see an attributed revenue of 19%. It's low. It's lower than normal. If an account has extremely good ads, like if your business has really good ads, 20 to 30% is fine. But for most people, you want to be getting above 30%. We're sitting just below 20% here. So we're going to be looking into where we think the best opportunity is to increase this revenue. So, as you can see here, the first thing I would look at is the attributed revenue, obviously, but then I would look at the breakdown. So 5,700 is coming from campaigns, 4,300 from flows. So less is coming from flows than campaigns. So that straight away tells me that the biggest area of opportunity is going to be within the flows. If you are an account that is pushing a lot of your traffic from ads, your flows can represent up to 70 to 80% of your revenue. So I think 40% in this instance is far too low and we want to be looking at increasing that. So the first thing we're going to look at is the flows. I just realized it's going to be a little harder to audit the flows as I normally would, as we have just created them a whole new batch of flows and gotten rid of all their old ones. For you to compare what we've done is to look at these flows and see which ones you're missing in your own account. So when I would go through an audit, I would look at their pre-purchase flows, which we mark as pre. So there's the welcome series, browse abandonment, active on site, abandoned checkout, abandoned cart. And then I would look at the post-purchase one. So that's going to be your thank you, your win back, your product review, cross-sell, replenishment reminders for 1 month and replenishment reminders for 3 months. The reason we've split that up is just because of the nature of this product. There is a 1 month pack and there is a 3 month pack. So we want to be sending replenishment reminders at different points. Like if someone's ordered a 3 month pack, we don't want to be sending a replenishment reminder after 20 days. But if someone ordered a 1 month pack, we want to be sending a replenishment reminder after 20 days. So you pretty much, I would come into a flows, if I had identified that the flows were lacking in revenue, which we had in this instance, I would come into the flows dashboard and I would say, what are we missing? Like what is not doing well and what is missing? So the first thing would be look for all of these. Do you have the welcome, browse, active on site, checkout, cart, replenishments, product review, win back, thank yous, and your sunset? If you do, then I'm back, okay, well, they have all the flows. That's the best start. We don't need to create new flows. Now it's just going to be time to revamp them. So let's look inside one of them. This is the welcome series. What I would do here is now start looking at the analytics. So I'm going to go through, look at all the different emails. As I said, we've only really turned these flows live, like our versions of these flows live quite recently. But I can still look at the data on the last 7 days and sort of see how they're performing and see what changes I would make. So as you can see here, the first email is doing quite well. Solid open rates, good click rates, good placed order rates. But that open rate is quite low for a first welcome email. Like we want that 49% to be more like 60 to 65%, even 70%, if not more, for the first welcome email. Like they've just subscribed to our email list. So there's going to be something there with the open rate that we're going to want to investigate. Maybe it's a new subject line. Maybe it's something about where our email is landing. Like potentially we're having deliverability issues in this account. Which brings me on to my second point. Emails 2, 3, and 4 all have extremely low open rates, 24%, 26%, 23%, before email 5 then has a high open rate of 41%. Like that's high for the last email of a welcome flow. So I'd be looking at this and going like, well, what's wrong with these 3 emails in the middle? Why are these getting extremely low open rates? I would dive into the subject lines. And now I would be looking at deliverability because 24% is so low, 26% is so low, and 23% is so low. So I would be looking into these and seeing how can we best improve those open rates to start attributing more revenue in the welcome flow. So that's going to be the welcome flow done. Do the same thing for every single flow. So go through, look at all the analytics. Where are the open rates low? Where are the click rates low? And why would they be like that? Could be as simple as A/B testing new subject lines. Could be as simple as A/B testing new content if your click rates are low. But if things are really low, like less than 30%, well, in this instance, it's telling me that we potentially have a deliverability issue with this account that we've just onboarded that we need to look into. I've just taken us over to the Klaviyo deliverability tab here. And it says we got a good score, like 75. It's solid, but we have a higher unsubscribe rate than we'd want. And we sort of have a spam complaint on par with the industry standard. So not too worried about the spam complaints, but I am sort of worried about the unsubscribe rate. Like, why are a lot of people unsubscribing? I ran a Glock Apps test already. Like, I'm doing this audit after actually auditing this account. So I've already run a Glock Apps test because I've identified that this account might have some deliverability issues. And that sort of told us that this account does have deliverability issues. We're landing in a bit of spam for Gmail and Outlook. So we've just onboarded this account. We've set up flows, tested the deliverability, and seen that they have a few issues there. So we're going to be looking at how we can mitigate that. I can come down and look at the flows in the campaign performance to see where this might be happening. So currently, our first thank you email has a 1% unsubscribe rate, which is ridiculously high. So I'd want to be looking at that, especially in a thank you email. Like, these people have just placed an order from us. Why are they unsubscribing straight away? There could be an issue there that we don't know about. And then the active on-site email, 1.5% unsubscribe rate. That is a huge number. So could be looking at switching these up. I also need to understand how much of that has come from our flows, which have only been set live in the last few days, versus the flows that they had in place prior to that. So it'd be judging up that to see if the flows that we've just created are going to fix that, or if this is a perpetual issue with the account and the audience, and perhaps where they're getting their contacts from in the first place. Maybe they're advertising on a platform like TikTok where they're getting a lot of low quality data, and it's going to tell us we need to be cleaning that list a lot more and being a lot more cautious and a lot more conservative with our sending patterns. So we can head back home here and get a bit more context on the situation. So we know attributed revenue is low. We know the flow revenue is low, and we know the campaign revenue is doing decent. Honestly, at this point, I would not even be looking at the campaigns. Like, it's carrying. Like, you know, there's obviously going to be changes we can make there, but the best levers to pull here are going to be in the flows and now the deliverability. So what we did, we saw the attributed revenue was low. We saw the flows were making up less than 50% of revenue, so we looked at the flows. The welcome flow in particular is going to be the one with the most traffic. As you can see, it's had 2,000 deliveries. So we wanted to go into the welcome flow and see what was happening. First email was having a sort of low open rate considering it's the first email. Second, third, and fourth email were having extremely low open rates, and the fifth email was having good open rates. That we could probably assume that the fifth email is an anomaly, and we need to be looking into why the first four emails are underperforming in terms of engagement. So we ran a deliverability test, saw we were having spam issues with this account. They've been landing in spam folders. So the first thing we want to do is look at how we're going to mitigate the deliverability issue. Before we even look at campaigns, we've already created the flows in this instance, but we want to be looking at how can we get out of spam folders. The first thing we do is go through and turn off the flows that are causing the deliverability issues. Those two in the Klaviyo dashboard that a lot of people were unsubscribing from, we want to be turning them off immediately and trying to understand why those people are unsubscribing. We will also probably analyze the traffic sources, work with this business owner to work out, are they bringing a lot of traffic from platforms like TikTok? Because if they are, we're probably getting a lot of these deliverabilities of really low quality. It's just people and bots signing up to the sign up form for the sake of it. So these are things we're going to look into. Then from there, we would probably move into the campaigns. So this would just be a little quick audit of how I would audit a Klaviyo account, just from looking at it from a bird's eye perspective without knowing much else. Attributed revenue, the campaign flow split, tells us we need to look at flows. Then we look at flows and we can see we have a deliverability issue. We look at the deliverability tab and see there are some emails with really high unsubscribe rates. But yeah, I just wanted to jump on and quickly do that. Hope this helps. If you want to get an audit of your Klaviyo account, you can head down to the description. I'd be happy to give you a full in-depth one, all your flows, all your campaigns, all your individual emails, your deliverability, your segmenting, all of that. We do all of that for you completely free. You just need to book a call. Otherwise, you can use this video to audit your own account and take a look at your dashboard to see potentially where there are areas of improvement for your account. Thank you.